So, you want to be a husband one day. Well, let me ask you something. Do you know exactly what it takes to be one? Because the truth is, marriage will test every part of who you are, and if you walk into it unprepared, love alone won't be able to hold it together. Family, I've been married for nearly 3 beautiful decades, ups and downs. And I've seen what make marriages thrive. I've seen what make marriages fall apart. And today, I want to walk you through 7 traits that I believe every man needs before he says I do. And these aren't things to hope you'll figure out, but they're things to build on now. So when you get into your marriage, when you get into the years of your relationship, you'll be ready. And I want you to think of it like this. Building a marriage is like building a house. The wedding day is just groundbreaking. And the real test is the foundation. And if your foundation is weak, the house won't survive the first storm. But if your foundation is strong, you'll withstand anything. And I believe these 7 traits, they're the bricks that will hold the things together. So here they are. Let's begin with trait number 1, kindness and emotional intelligence. I came across a survey of over 68,000 women, and it revealed something that was a little surprising. The survey said that the number 1 trait that the women wanted in a long-term partner wasn't looks or money. It was kindness. And why? Wait for it. Because storms come, arguments happen, disagreements are guaranteed. And in those moments, your tone, your patience, your ability to listen, that mattered more than any paycheck. Now that may be subjective. So, brothers, I want you to ask yourself, when I'm angry, do I treat her with respect? And if the answer is no, then that's an area where you can just notice one to work on. So trait number 2, honesty and authenticity. Imagine you're building a house on sand. It looks good for a while, but the first wave takes it down. That's what marriage without honesty looks like. And as a man, you've got to be able to say, babe, boo, I messed up. You got to tell the truth, not just what sounds good in the moment, but tell the truth. Authenticity means being the same person in public that you are in private, because your wife doesn't just marry your Facebook or IG highlight reel. She marries the real life. Trait number 3, emotional connection and romance. Here's where most men get it wrong, including myself. I've learned. They think their romance is a grand gesture, but I recently read another survey that said women are really leaning into this thing called micromance. And it's the small, tiny gestures, loving them more than the big ones. And the Beyonce tickets, the trip to Paris, is not so much that. It's remember their favorite bubbly, her caramel macchiatos, freshly steamed, non-fat milk with 2 shots of vanilla, no caramel drizzle. It's the notes you leave, the on the counter before she goes to work, on the refrigerator. You know, the big moments create memories, but the little ones, they keep the love alive. So ask yourself, am I present enough now to notice those little details? Trait number 4, stability and future goals. Now let's talk about stability. And no, this isn't about being rich. Stability means emotional steadiness, direction, and reliability. And here's the truth. A man with vision, even if it's simple, may be able to get more done than a man with money and no plan. Because a woman wants to know, if I join my life with his, will I be safe? So here's the cliffhanger question. If life fell apart tomorrow, could she trust you to stand strong? Or will she feel like she's got to carry the both of you? Trait number 5, shared values. Here's the reality. You can survive different hobbies, different backgrounds, and even different personalities, but you cannot survive different values. If your core values, your core beliefs, faith, family, integrity, and communication, if they don't align, you'll spend your marriage rowing in different direction, and no amount of chemistry will close that gap. So before marriage, before you ask, you need to ask the question: do you actually share the same non-negotiables as relates to values? Trait number 6, ambition and goal setting. So I want to share something anonymously. A man once told me, I think I've lived and grown enough. And unfortunately, within a few years, his relationship fell apart. It became lifeless. And not because he was a bad person, but because he stopped evolving and the partner he was with was. So ambition isn't about chasing money. It's about refusing to settle for who you were yesterday. Growth is attractive because it signals that you'll keep pouring into the relationship instead of coasting. So the reflective question for you, brothers, is: am I growing emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and financially? Or am I just standing still? And trait number 7, dependability and emotional stability. Dependability means this: if you say you'll do it, you do it. In the small things and in the big ones. And emotional stability means you don't disappear when things get messy. You don't just throw your hands up, run to the garage. Together, they create what's needed in a marriage. Safety for both of you. That's the kind where your wife can exhale because she knows she's not alone in whatever it is you're dealing with. A man who is dependable and emotionally stable is like a steady anchor in a storm. And every marriage needs that anchor. So, marriage isn't about perfection. It's about preparation. It's about becoming the kind of man who can love consistently, lead humbly, grow daily. And the truth is, these 7 traits, in my opinion, they aren't suggestions. They're essential. And if you develop them before marriage, you're not just preparing for a wedding day. You're preparing for a lifetime. So here's my challenge to you. Out of these 7 traits, which do you know you feel that you need to work on, to grow? I don't want you to run from it. I want you to write it down, own it, and then work on it. Because the man who invests in himself before marriage is the man who will have a marriage that lasts. And if you know a brother who's thinking about marriage or who's in a long-term relationship, I want you to send him this episode. He needs to hear it before he takes the next steps. And so I want to leave you one final thought. Marriage won't make you a man. It reveals the man you already are. If you're selfish, marriage will expose it. If you're impatient, marriage will magnify it. But if you're kind, dependable, and honest, marriage will showcase that too. So don't wait until you say I do to become a man that your wife deserves. Start now. Build now. Because the best version of you will always create the best version of your marriage. I'm Frank, and this is another episode of Sober Conversation. I'll see you in the next one.